fatigue is going to be a little bit of a factor now, especially for Zigma. So curious to see how they decide to start off and which side they will, because they've won the pistol, which seems to suggest that they go for CT side to start.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I think Zigma do decide to. That's a bit weird. Wait, who won knife? It was Zigma? Yeah. So Zigma decided to go on the CT side. It's still pretty much normal convention to start on the CT side of Inferno. Get off to a good start. Try to shut down Expendables before they can really get rolling to a lead. But this is where I feel like some of the heavy hitters for Expendables start getting rolling into it. Azzy definitely looked good on that T side, or even on the CT, was feeling it towards the end. I mean, Expendables going to be rolling off that momentum. They went, guys, we're down 9-14. It's that classic meme. Guys, if you think we're good enough right now, we're down 9-14. We're going to come back and win the 16-14.
Well, I remember the day started at, 10:30 a.m. Singapore time for Zigma. Started a little bit later for Expendables. They played the second matchup of the day. So a little bit fresher, woke up a little bit later. But then again, means that they had a bit less rest time in between the matches. Zigma, though, a lone player to its B to begin pistol, and it will be Genius with the smoke and the kit. So just looking to get a couple of pot shots in before he has to fall back and play retake. But Expendables, they could overwhelm him. The rotis are very far away on the side of Zigma.
I mean, his goal is just spotting out for information right now for Genius. He's got a smoke grenade to play with as well. He's got the kit, so you're going to be pretty fine. So you're going to go, all right, take maybe a couple of pot shot chances, but ears back out. You just try to control this construction area.
Yeah. So bombs could go down safe, not the standard default plan. And Expendables now, you're not going to feel comfortable if you're just sitting around on site, right? You need to take a bit of initiative somewhere, make sure that Banana's clear in the least. Zigma, they have a smoke for this. Do they opt to use it for the bomb? I think they do, right? Not opting smoke off Banana. Now, trying to look for a couple of individual aim duels. That's going to be the name of the game. Derek, the one to find the opener this round, as he's swinging along with his teammates and Expendables, taking away the pistol.
Looking pretty good as well, just patience. I understand that as soon as there's a bit of a go signal, they're all going to swing in together. 5-5 brawls. I feel like all the fights, as long as the T side doesn't give away any easy positioning, I do feel like it does favor that post-plant positioning. It's very hard to get rid of the Nana players if you don't have the right utility. It's very hard to dig out the Dark players or the Tri-Box players. In that case, obviously, Azzy gets 2 from that position. As a result, Expendables, another pistol.
5HG grenade, so possibly 3 down middle and 2 into his Banana. So looking to do a chunk of damage, but Expendables, they do a good job at avoiding all of that. As he now in his middle, no, he's got a couple of cracks at his stats, and yeah, if he's coming alive in the last map of the series, I'm all for it, man. It's taken a while, but all the young guns time to step up. The newest addition to the Expendables roster, of course. But yeah, that was just the ego, so always good for confidence, right? But now it's where it counts. Zigma, they've egoed for this. Secrets with the buy, but the rest seem to be a little bit off tandem.
Hang on a second here. Why has he bought an M4 and the rest of them haven't? That's a bit strange. Maybe a bit of a misclick coming out. I do feel like if he had that cash, he's probably accidentally hit like the F3 button or the auto buy button. That's why it's gone all shonky. And you just have to make a best out of a poor situation. Got an M4, no use crying over spilt milk. You can't resell that thing back for credits.
Or you could hit it with the old DC, right, perhaps, but yep, no, Zigma, they've got a bit more... they're a bit nicer in that regard.
The rest of the team is half bought around it, so it's not going to be the end of the world just yet. Definitely Zigma can steal something away right now on the back of these pistols, just like that. Pro going to be shooting the butt, the leg of Pro.
But a friendly fire.
Oh, beautiful!
Oh no. To the side of my hand. I'm not even sure if that was my opponent. I'll be able to hit that shot. Now he's continuing to try his luck. Smoke in towards the top of middle. Will deny information, but reality, you're getting aggressive on the back of this as he able to make up for his TK. Bit of misfortune, but ooh, this time he hits the ground just cause. Oh no, Zigma. They've got 3 players on side to receive the 3 instead of Expendables, and you've got a little bit scared. 2 Mac 10s, but one's pretty low. A single bullet, the Deagle would be enough. Don't forget they've got the M4 as well. Out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So the Deagle actually does more work than the M4, but Cigarette's actually big braining it. Goes, yep, I've got an M4, so The rest of the boys surely have to fire up and back me up on my mistake. Just Cause manages to pick up 3 with a deagle. I mean, and obviously that round, thanks to the assistance of Azzy, who takes our micro pretty early on. Not one of the rounds you want to be dropping as expendables, but that's a bit of a weird one. They can still buy into it.
Around that he'll want to forget, but he does get the AWP out on the T side. Reality at the same time, able to get his own AWP out. Maybe going for bigger banana. Azzy, very aggressive with the enemy position at logs, but he's standing his ground. Genius coming back in for the fight. They need to extinguish the flames. What able to find the opening advantage. Quickly traded though by Papichulo, so keeps us in equal state. But zigma, this is pretty obvious that they've sent 3 players into his banana, right? The flash assist, the grenades. If you do a bit of counting expendables, you would know. Thing is, how do zigma opt to rotate off of that? They've decided to just split the defense in half.
Just leaving Papachulo to lurk, probably apply a bit of pressure just to keep 2 players over here. So you're going to see him drop a smoke maybe about 50 seconds. It's just waiting to lurk to make sure that some of this aggression is going to be nullified. In reality though, managed to make that AWP work pretty well. M4 from Ackerman from Pit chipping in. And now the re-push, the re-aggression coming out from Reality. It means that Papachulo has to find the sickest timing right now. He might just find it, to be honest. He's just slid the needle. They were not expecting that.
Yeah, and they do know there's a second player in this construction as well, but at least it's gonna guarantee the bomb plant. Right, trying to get it down safe. Just Cause has an inkling, but it's gonna go down for default instead. Now 2 on 3, but got a lot of positioning on the side. 1 player coming up banana, that will be Reality. Scoped in, ooh, just evades the time of the player at coffins, but nobody's here to scope.
Just comes down to how well they play the construction area on micro. Good for at least a single one. Still the presence of the AWP not revealed. Ackerman identifies both players. They're both 2 bullets away from death. Unfortunately for Reality, he just comes in a little bit too late potentially. Does he have a kit? Does not have a kit. Surely should have enough time though. Able to get the trade into Papachulo just at the very end.
Yeah, I think he just about has
yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah. 2 kids in construction as well. He would have been kicking himself if he didn't get that one. But yeah, zigma managed to claw 2nd round back expendables after losing a round against just the Deagles and the lone M4 from cigarettes. If not recovered since, well, did manage to get the bomb down, so at least this means they're not in double eco territory. They can just go for the half by this round and then get the AKs out again. Couple of HE grenades though, so if they were to land an early kill, set them up for a pretty decent one. But well,
Ozzy's been done dirty again.
I think he did the dirty to himself there.
True. Sometimes you shoot your teammate in the head, sometimes they decide to nade you.
Oh.
Okay, Papachulo.
Okay.
Alright, Papachulo. I was scared for a moment there for cigarettes, because when Papachulo gets in that rolling mood, no one can really stop him. Now cigarettes going to be tested. No smoke grenade though. So it's just going to have to be an all-round fight as cigarettes is going to be just a little bit stronger. Does have his buddy in Just Cause to make sure that they can't cross. So expendables. Not going to be able to back up some of that success from the previous round in terms of doing some economy damage. But you know what? Taking 1 rifle away is going to be better than none. Being able to buy into this one, this is where you start changing things up as well.
Expendables. No op out this time for Azzy, so yeah, perhaps T-side Inferno is a bit, so always a little bit of a weird one, right? A bit difficult to get rolling, especially since you can feel very static when you have the AWP. So now instead, it's going to be him on the AK Papichulo towards banana. Early smoke will deny vision, so zigma, you don't know how many players there are on the opposite side. But what they do know is that they should have banana control, right? Deep Molotov, Deep Incendiary will wipe out both sides, and expendables though, they want to give this in the shout.
It does come down to this flashbang timing. There's one that's been able to make his way a little bit closer towards the cutout. That flashbang not too effective. So it's still pro waiting for that timing. Utility also being dumped over at Boiler just to really wrestle bracket control off the CT angle as well.
So again,
Slow and steady for both sides, yeah.
And a lot of utility left on the side of zigma. Just a smoke on cigarettes, a minute left on the clock. They might catch him at and an awkward timing, right? If they throw a flash of first oranges, but that's why the boost has been designed, right? Player playing anti-flash can swing if Cigarettes gets caught blind. You use his smoke now and really help to push ahead of it. 1-1-1, Collins right at right timing. Genius, supporting his teammate, and expendables, they run back.
Slowing things down for now. Ackerman not really convinced that there is going to be, I guess, the B site take just yet. He's more than happy sitting in pit. They know they got the numbers advantage. Papachulo, though, manages to find the timing onto Genius. Now pushing ahead, Cigarettes has to brawl out, but Papachulo just, once again, Big Puppy just comes right around the corner and goes, see you later, mate. See you in the next round, but maybe I can farm some more stats. And just like that, I mean, just like that, 5-3 advantage gets absolutely destroyed. Torn apart by Papachulo, and it looks like he should be good enough to close out the rest of this round as well. He's not going to miss a few heads. He hears an AWPer. He goes, maybe that's a kill for me, but it's actually micro at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, players were pretty low at the end of the day for expendables, right? So Zigma close, but ultimately it will be team for the Philippines to put themselves onto 3. And now, money's in shambles for Zigma.
Yep, Zigma's, oh, I mean, far out. Cigarette's brought up again. What is this guy doing? He's had enough. He just goes, I've got the M4. I'm just going to multi-frag right now. He drops an HE. It's not the best HE. Looks pretty good, but... rest of the team is scrambling going, Cigarettes, mate, you're alright? You bought an M4 when the rest of us wanted to go for an half eco? Do you want to unbind that auto buy key, if that's your excuse?
Well, what's explaining to do? But if they win this, then it's all Gucci. It's all good, right? Yeah, it was all planned.
That's definitely results-orientated thinking. I've criticized a lot of people for it in the past. I'm going to criticize it again, that's for sure. Papachulo is just really frustrating Genius a couple of times. And there you have it. Cigarette's able to respond. Drops a smoke grenade as well. Buys a bit more time.
Map control is what expendables have, though, off the back of this. Mid-B smoke, question of it, but they're gonna look around it instead. Reality, with the USP, he actually wins the fight against Micro, so not his proudest moment then. Oh, just cause! 2 big shots. Now it's SC, that's the one.
Yep, and Just Cause just deagles people again. I feel like I've seen him get at least 6 or 7 deagle kills so far this entire round. Every single time Cigarettes buys an M4, it's not because of him they win the round. It's because Just Cause literally gets his eagle and kills 3. But you know what? Maybe Cigarettes just needs to keep force buying the M4 because it makes Just Cause think he's an insane deagler, which he is. There's no other way to explain that low percentage play. In everything else, it's like M4, it just pushes the rest of the expendables away. They're like, oh, we're pretty scared. Let's go towards A. They got pistols. And then Just Cause goes, I'm pretty good with the pistol, actually.
Well, Zigma, again, stealing back around that really wasn't there. Expendables. Zigma on 4, 2 of them. You can't say it's mistakes from the side. It seems to be a palace pop on its way, right? 4 apartments pop, sorry. 4 players in carpet and smoke over, including 2 flashes from Derek. It's the all-in, and they picked the right bomb site. Ackerman, does he get blind by the flashes? No, he doesn't. He's gonna do a bit of damage, and Ackerman needs to be serviceable with a couple of frags dancing around his smoke. And Scott will be in line to lock it down with his teammate. Zigma, pretty comfortable. They knew what was coming, and they had the right way to handle it.
Difference there is if Ackerman's completely blinded and there's enough T's that flood pit where they get rid of the M4, they are able to use that M4 from that pit position and actually do some damage onto the site. That could have been very much Expendable's way into that round. You get pit control, it's very, very strong as a T-side, like as a T-side player. You're able to really make the CT player on that site uncomfortable. You can then double swing him with the rest of your teammates. But look, that pistol round was a bit of a throwaway. Didn't really have enough flashbangs or the correct amount of utility to really blind some of the CT members. So this is the true test right now for Expendables once again. Onto the gun round, you can only expect Papachulo to make 2 solid entries. Like, you can't expect him to make entries every single time and win you a game.
Yeah.
Like, surely not. Like, that's, you can't expect him to go, all right, Papachulo, go kill. All right, excellent, we've won the round.
asking too much, right? And the fact is that you're relying on him to entry when back on Mirage, you were relying on him to clutch out a lot of the rounds, right? It's a lot of weight on his shoulders. Yes, he is a good player, a brilliant player, but certainly humans, we all have our limits. At the same time, Zigma, they re-aggress down Banana. They know that this A hit is coming, but it's only half the battle won because it's still a limit out of position. The Oppa in library needs to be good for one. Will get smoked off, but now Just Cause turns at the right timing. And this attack has been split in half. The Incendiary will deny them from making that advantage. The big kill though, Ackerman direct to the edge of the smoke and getting hunted down from Graveyard. Genius pushing 2-on-2. Still, the player alive in pit. This is such a huge pain in the back if you're on the side of expendables.
You can see it's Micro's just trying to figure out exactly how he wants to take it. Finally, Micro's able to strike safely. Now 3-on-2. Genius down to 1 HP. 1-3, make it as he has to step up pretty big, but Cigarettes just comes straight from around the corner. Guns are blazing. And Zigma string another one. 3 alive, money signing to look pretty good for the CT side, whereas for the expendables, I mean, they do manage to get the bomb plant down. They got the full round 5-round loss bonus.
But
so at least they're not struggling for weapons, they're not struggling for utility.
yeah. The T side is you don't want to lose a couple more rounds, right? That's for sure. Of course, if expendables, you're looking at magic number of about 7 to 8. Of course, if you get 9, that's the ideal scenario, but you don't want Zigma to exactly be running away with it as well, right? The T side of Inferno is not too difficult, right? You just need solid protocols and the right reaction. So far, expendables, they've had a couple of rounds that things seem to go their way. They hit the right sites, they hit the weaker bomb sites, but a couple of missed shots, a bit of miscommunication here and there, and then things just go awry for the Philippine squad. Now, again, totaling up as a 5-man unit. Derek, the only player to take a sacrifice, and seems like he's going to be out the apartments again, perhaps.
I mean, they have a bit more utility to work with this time around, so I don't necessarily mind an apartment take on a gun round. But the double pit setup is going to be very strong to break. I mean, the player underneath pit doesn't get blinded out, so you can see Ackerman keeping eyes on, thinking about the potential. There's a Molotov, counter Molotov into Dignity. And here we go, Just Cause. Going to be just right underneath balcony. And he's going to be able to swing pretty well with Ackerman. Reality as well, trying to lock things down, but Pro is so good at swinging around, bringing it back down to the 2-on-2.
Derek's been able to pick up the AWP as well. I can just post up on Coldzera. They need to retrieve the bomb, which has been dropped, so taking a bit of time for that one. Smoke has faded. Can't replenish it on the side of expendables. Incendiary's gonna force narrow and zone out the side, but both players standing alive. One and Coldzera, what? Up close and personal genius. Looks like a genius with that one. Derek. Let's go, Cigarettes. Easy edge of the shoulder and ooh, just about gets it. Ooh.
It's a pretty close one there.
Yeah, but Zigma, they still come out on top and they're able to carry the op over, and more importantly, expendables, it's another round loss, and it's another one where you can look at it and say we probably should have had it, right? Derek, if he had been able to get a single kill there, dare say, he should win another round, right? Because you have an AWP, if you get the first kill, that's a 2-on-1 in the opposite favor. But instead, Zigma, Genius, comes in with the kill first, Derek gets a trade, but then position's already given up.
I mean, it's pretty hard still to hit an AWP shot sometimes from Coldzera. I mean, Genius is pretty sick movement as well, so it is sometimes a bit difficult to actually hit these shots. He's pretty confident in taking some of these duels. And you have to say, it's the early round disruption where the double pit setup really destroys pretty much the apartment's take. There's no way to blind the player underneath the balcony, and the Ackerman or Rolex is able to just chip in and help out with his teammates as well. Well, I see a bit of the same old from Zigma, where as soon as the utility dies away, we're going to see the retake flashbang, and Genius as well as Reality just going to be pushing in.
It would be all too obvious for expendables to counter its B now, right? They've tried it a couple of times, it's failed every single time, and so Zigma, they're preempting this, but expendables, still, not really sure where they want to hit themselves, but now the retake flashbang will come in, although I think it's Papi Chulo, he's playing in a pretty safe position, right? Maybe off the flashbang, he will swing, in fact it's Azzy. So always good for the couple with the AK, but this time he's gonna get forced back and yeah, put in a very uncomfortable spot. Now the banana take comes in, and at 45 seconds left on the clock, if you lose banana, what do you do with your expendables? That is why Pro try to hold on to it with his dear life. Derek knows there's a player in pit, trying to rush him out of position. Papachulo on the rep, yeah, catches Ackerman out in the open, and that's the ace that taken for expendables. So a little bit of ingenuity coming out from their players. Can't afford to give up the advantage.
Bit more chaos, and that's what I like from expendables, where they're going, just, I hate to say it, switch off the brain sometimes. Just try to take a couple of the aim deals, whatever works for you. And you can see Papachulo just holding the W key, smashing it down because he knows he's lost Nano control at that point in time. And just like that, expendables, I mean, they still have a decent amount of the economy for Zigma to chip through at this point in time. But any round that you can get right now, a bit of confidence rolling forward where you go, all right, we can keep this competitive. We can make this like Mirage where we look like we're down and out a little bit. We get 2-3 rounds, looks a little bit closer. When we go to our CT side, that's where we can start clawing our way back. We know that we're a good CT side team. We know we can shut down what the expendables are going to, or what Zigma are going to throw at us. You just slowly build your advantage from there. Still 4 rounds in this half to play with. So, no other team out of it just yet.
Seems to be when it gets a little bit chaotic that expendables do seem to thrive, right? Back in Mirage was when the rounds start to get a little bit slippery, a bit of squeaky bomb time being thrown in, right? That's when expendables will get their act together. This time, a bit of creativity from Papachulo, right? Taking advantage of the chaos happening around him and finding that space out in long, and then getting his way through Motor and getting the player out in towards pit. This time, Zigma going for the exact same setup here. Over towards the B side. Expendables though, they break very passively. Possibly because of the fact that they've been called off a couple of times now. So, yeah.
It's the same setup, which leaves a big hole over there at the A site, especially if expendables are able to just peek in and identify the fact that there's actually only 2 players over here. Well, they are going to be taking Nano. Flashbang might be coming forward soon. They are creeping in. And Pro is going to be on the receiving end. No flash whatsoever. The counter flash, not good enough. It's Papachulo. Might think about fighting this. Oof. He just eats an HE grenade.
Yeah. But now the attack's coming, starting to come back into its A. Now they're quiet once again, so just because he needs to find first. And yeah, the player swung a little bit wider than he anticipated, but he is still able to get away with his life. Expendables, very obvious where they are at the moment. 40 seconds left on the clock. They can still go mid to B. And they're playing with the idea, toying with it. Because they don't know exactly how many players there are on each side. It's going to be a smoke to deny vision from the pit player. And so trying to isolate just cause out on site.
That's not a good smoke, I don't feel like. That's gone a bit too far. So I don't think he's isolated. I think he can still fight. I mean, that has gone way too far at this stage. He's still able to win the deals. I can understand the intention, but that's a very strange smoke. Now there's a fast diggity player. There's going to be cigarettes. Might be able to strike, especially if Derek is not looking at the right angle, the right time, a 1-for-1 trade. But it's just back down to reality. Knows where the last T-side player is. Ooh. Derek still hits the shot at the end of the day. Another round for the expendables. And the question is cigarette's going to buy an M4?
I reckon it does. Right? I mean, seems to be a lucky charm for Zigma.
Does he buy armor and M4? A single flashbang to back... No, not even a flashbang to back it up. And the rest of the guys just buying pistols. And it's going to be the Deagle. Come on, cigarettes. You know you want to. Oh, he's bought a Deagle. Round's over. Expendable's going to take it.
Yeah. You can see,
right? Made it. I saw the recipe for success. You saw it. I saw it. Cigarettes with the M4 going, why is he doing it? That's such a silly thing. He gets 1 kill. We go, alright, that's pretty good. Just Cause gets 3 Deagle kills and pretty much cleans up the rest of the round for Zigma.
And if Expendables to win this, then it's proven, right? Then it would be an undisputable fact if it happens.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to do with Just Cause's Eagle. It's everything to do with Cigarettes M4. There's a bit of delay utility over here in B side. It goes back to a bit of seriousness as well. The Expendables don't want to be dropping this one.
Well, you've dropped 2 pistol rounds. So, yeah. Keep on getting eco like that, you're not going to feel good about yourself, and more importantly, you're always giving your opponents a good round economically, right? A little freebie. Once again, taking brackets from Sonic, but they've really struggled to hold on to this part of the map, right? A has been a constant point of weakness for them, and it seems to be something that Expendables have identified as where they want to hit. And it's
Zigma Yeah, Zigma definitely. Sorry to cut you off there, Gobbles. Zigma definitely likes stacking that B side a lot more. You rarely see the full side A side stack. I mean, and it's not only the case that Zigma haven't had the opportunity to do so. They've got the utility to fight for Nana and win it, get an AWP posted up on half wall, and get reality posted up, float an extra rifle back to the A site, and kind of win the game from there, or win the round from there. But they're very persistent in holding 3 players, playing for the retake, playing for the fight. Shine's starting to fall off a little bit.
I mean, I don't mean to sound like smarty pants, but I think if Secret won the M4, I think Sigma would have had the round.
Yeah, Just Cause would have killed all of them at Boiler. He would have just streaked out. You could see it just flicks the 1Bs.
Well, back into the buys we go. Expendables, 6 rounds on the board now, so on the verge of tying things up. And yeah, again, a close end to the first half. This time, Zigma not guaranteed the half just yet. It worked a little bit harder, right? And the B-Stacks not really paying off just yet. Yes, they are able to find a couple of kills on the retakes with the top banana, but the fact that they've got 3 players there means that Expendables, every single time Zigma up to retake top banana, Expendables just walk out mid. They know it's clear.
Yeah, they're just taking top jungle instead, and they're going, oh, we can just wrap around, actually. We can actually make this work out. So, reality AWP just going to be on the diggity angle this time around. Just see if you could maybe find a timing peak and one of the players coming up to chair at mid. Just falling back to a bit of a safer one. So, from sight, just peering over into diggity. Don't get mollied off too hard from this angle. You're just scared about maybe the balcony aggression, but you're going to have to trust your buddy and Ackerman to be watching that.
Guess what? The one round where they decided to stick 3 players over L on A, that's the round where Expendables decided to go B.
Motor smoke as well, just to fake something. Cigarettes. That's a nicely timed 8 cheat. Softens up some of the T's over there at Nana.
Ooh, that's a very tight angle, and this kill might give away the fact it's mid to B, but at the same time, Zigma, the players, they're constricted, right? Because now you're getting swarmed from 2 different angles.
You're pretty much cut off, so you just have to fight for your life right now. Molotov. That's a good Molotov. What's going on over here? Genius just allows Micro to go underneath, but Genius still gets 2 at the end. They were tagged up so heavy, the Molotov was able to do the bulk of the work, and instead of going through CT spawn, it's actually going to be the wraparound through Nana. This has gone terribly wrong for the Expendables.
And this should not have. It should not, but Expendables pushing in front of the smoke. Not really sure what's the communication there, because the incendiary was dropped in front of the smoke, right? But you can see 2 players walking out in front of it, but not realizing that they had hot feet. Well, the floor is lava, and 2 of them, it's decked because of it. And Zigma, they offered up a bit of a freebie, a gift completely out of nowhere. I mean, yes, Zigma, they still had to hit a couple of shots to get there, but that's just something that I don't think you will see repeated in a million years, I think.
I think it's the case of maybe there was a miscommunication. Someone goes, oh, I'm smoking off the Molotov, they miss a smoke, or they think someone else is smoking off the Molotov. They don't have any smokes left, and it's scrambling as they know that time's ticking away. They really need this round, and it kind of all falls apart from there. Still 2 players over here. Single good flashbang on this angle actually pushes both of them off.
4 and 4, and I think they've caught on to how Zigma like to play this B side, right? Cigarettes, he loves this angle, and Expendables give him a grenade to perhaps suggest that, hey, we know where you are. You've been here almost every round, but he's gonna hold steady over at the front side position. So now once again, brackets control being taken, and absolutely no response from Zigma whatsoever to try and fight, right? They're willing to give it up, but now rotating, they have a close rotator up at Arch, right? In towards CT spawn already. That's gonna be Just Cause. So coming on to A, Ackerman is do or die.
It's one of those really good last round transitions. Ackerman has played pit or balcony almost exclusively this entire game. So he's actually changed it up. He's gone over towards Cold Zero. And you can see how much attention, how much fear the Expendables actually have. There's actually a pit player. No smoke in that position though. It's going to be a big telltale sign. There might be no one there. And now they know where Ackerman is, but Reality's there to assist, and there you have it. Zigma's able to close things up very cleanly. You see Cigarettes very lonely there on the B side. He's doing his role, just making sure there can be no attack over there. But Zigma, 9-6.5.
Good
And
ending.
is it enough? Yeah, good ending. Is it enough for expendables to make their way back in? 6 on the board. Obviously on that CT side now.
Yeah, I think the pistol will have quite a bit of repercussions, right? 9 to 6, it's easy to say that it's pretty close, right? On the CT side, if expendables win, then they're looking good to equalize the state of affairs 9 to 9 before we get the rifle rounds underway. But then again, if Zigma win the pistol, they win the force fight, they win against the ego, then they've doubled the round advantage over expendables, right? So things could go really either way at this point. And it's important for them to make sure that they win out the second pistol, the final pistol, grand finals. And yeah, looking to go out with a bang. Let's see.
I even see this game and go into overtime. Who knows? We've seen already one that's gone into overtime earlier on today. Let's see another one. Would be deciding to really determine the difference between both of these squads. But for now, Zigma looks like they're putting their eggs in the B-side basket for success. If Expendables are able to take this one, be a big bolster for the CT economy.
Smoke coming in. Paddy grabs the B play. Play boosted up as well. That's going to be pro. But no flashes, crucially, on the side of Zigma. He's going to throw bodies at the problem, and he falls off it. Pro. Well. Ooh. Gets deleted through the smoke. And they're pushing all the way to CT as well. Look at cigarettes. All the way to construction. Micro. Makes him pay for it. But he has to fall back, right? Just playing it safe, wait for teammates to arrive, and then consider the retake. You've got a kid on ASUS, so it's doable, but no smokes, no flashes.
Just has to be an all-round brawl that's going to work in the favor of either side. 4-on-4 cigarettes. You can see what he's trying to do, trying to take some initiative, maybe flush out that construction player. Doesn't work out too fantastically for him, though. Papachulo still deep at CT, just keeping eyes on things. But reality, crossfire right now with Just Cause as well. Just Cause just having a bit of dance at the column. Oh no, barbecue. It's just too strong right now. Expendables cannot flush out any of the Ts, cannot hit any of these shots that matter, and Zigma will be able to take the pistol straight onto the AKs and rifles.
Yeah, and if Expendables do opt to force back in, right, they have, because Pro has already bought up. So, well, not really a huge fan, but then again, Inferno, if you were to go for full eco, right, the first buy round that you have, it wouldn't be with all the bits and pieces of utility that you need as well. So, kind of feel as though the hand has been forced, given that they're on the CT side. Let's see if they can make it work. Zigma, they were able to pull one of their own. So, you know, if Expendables were to do it, I think it would be huge for them. Otherwise, Zigma, they'd be licking their chops. I think they're starting to smell a bit of blood in the water.
I mean, we saw that on Mirage, though.
Yeah.
T-side, they're up 14-9. They smell blood in the water. They keep trying to go for fast strategies, and it doesn't work. They go, hang on a second, how do we actually break this? They don't win a couple of clutches. That allows Expendables to have a bit of a go at Inferno to bring the series back.
And on the second round of Barrage, it was Papichulo to start the show as well, right? A 1 HP clutch. But this time, he's already fallen, the first casualty of the round. And, well, Zigma, still very passive across the board, waiting for a bit of re-aggression. Expendables, I completely agree with this decision to stack the B side, right? You're not going to do anything if you just play 2-2, so might as well give this a crack. If they go A, fine, just save. But if they come to B, that's where we have a good chance of winning out the round. But, oh, they're doubting themselves, second guessing. I don't like this. I really don't.
Well, enough time has ticked away. Ackerman's actually gone after a hit, so... Whoa, if he goes down at the moment, that's an AK that's retrievable. Not that Azzy knows it, though. He's going to respect the smoke, and unfortunately, respecting that smoke means the Ts will be allowed to enter the site.
Yeah, and at this point, just safe if Expendables. A couple of Deagles to carry over into the next round, the boost up in the cubby, or yeah, the boost up in the cubby not going to yield any rewards, and more importantly though, it gives away the fact that there are 2 players there, right? So Zigma peppering that spot with bullets, able to get a kill as a reward, but I think they have a good idea that this player's still there. Yeah, Expendables, they think better of it, reroute back, taking the save.
Okay. I would love to see Pro actually make his way towards apartments and actually chuck it into pit.
Dojani.
Come on. Go on, Pro, mate. You know you wanna. He's all the way over on B side, isn't he? He's just saving.
Surprised to see Expendables still decided to stick their heads around.
I think they were trying to do some damage. Not a bad shout in. I mean, one of them does go down, so there's that.
But now, once again, got nothing. Zigma looking to avoid the same mistake they had on Mirage, right? It felt very similar. They were up, they had the advantage, you had a couple of rounds to play with, but then you lose one and then suddenly comms go a bit missing, your bullets go a bit missing as well. A couple of players starting to feel a little bit under the weather, under pressure. And then everything, that's how things begin to fall apart. So Inferno though, it's much difficult to see something like that, right? Even if Expendables start feeling confident, you're not going to see too much aggression coming out from the CTs, right? There's only so many things you can do on the CT side of Inferno. So yeah, for Zigma, should be a better battleground for them in terms of being able to close out the lead. Expendables, it's kind of felt that they've always had to play from behind, right? Almost going down the first map, and in the first half it was 11-4, right? And then the second map, they had to mount a bit of comeback towards the end, and this time it's the same scenario, right? Starting out with a disadvantage and needing to show a bit of grit, a little bit of resilience to see if they can crown themselves as the regional champions.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The CT side definitely tests your fundamentals a lot more in terms of rotations, understanding and trusting your teammates a lot. What utility is important, what utility isn't. You can even see though that single smoke grenade being dumped by Pro that was saved over from the previous one. Actually going to be this reroute back towards Archers. There's two CTs over here ready and waiting. But cigarettes, only good for one. Rest of the T's already gone the A site though. Which means that this Galil not going to be too consequential of a loss.
Yeah. It's carried over. We've got a flash as well, right? So might as well hold on to it. Allows up a little bit more utility. Especially since Derek doesn't have a lot of cash, right? 1.75k. It's been a little bit of overspending on his part.
He should be fine though. He'll be able to get armor and M4 just like a utility. And it's one of those weird things with the Galil because a lot of people do equivalent it to maybe you can use it on that CT side. The scoreline 6-12. I think it's a big disservice if you decide to actually go with the Galil as opposed to actually using an M4. Yeah, he's got 4.6k, so he can get armor, he can get M4, he can get a decent set of utility.
Well, I guess just no incendiary. In fact, just a smoke and incendiary, so no flash for the late round. But curious to see where he plays. That's gonna have a huge impact, right? If it's towards Banana, then maybe he can use it slightly earlier on. I think it's Puppy Chulo towards that part of the map, though. They have the AWP on Azzy, crucially. So yeah, quite a bit of responsibility on him, because this will be a surprise for Zigma to find out. But it should be aware though. On the CT side, seeing an AWP is much more common. But the only thing is, where has he decided to take it? It will be just a pretty standard play in towards Archers. Banana control, not granted to either side, right? Expendables, they don't know what's lurking on the other side of the smoke. At the same time, Zigma, they can't be sure that there's nobody up in the sandbags as well, which is why they're being quite procedural with their clearing of this part of the map.
Taking slow and steady, yeah. You go first, sorry, Gobbles.
It's fine, you can go first.
I was going to say, it's even for Expendables, they're dropping the smoke at half wall. They're making it a bit more costly and they're buying a bit more time. But the problem is, without actively fighting for Nana, Zigma are eventually going to reroute back to here. The question is then going to be how much utility is left on this B site. There's only Micro with the smoke. Pro thinking about flashing his teammate in, but this might come at the worst timing right now, or the best timing, depending which way you look at it.
Yeah, sounds timing. Oh,
that's
white,
sick.
but oh no, he gets team flash as well for it. So yeah, Zigma blocking the lines a little bit here as they smoke themselves off, but what through the smoke, Genius will be trying to open up. Pro though needs to go big, but unfortunately he won't. And B6 uncompromised. No CT smoke as he had just a bit of gap back into the round there for Expendables, but missing his shot and getting deleted means that Hackerman is allowed to get up close into the spawn. There's no way Derek expects this, and Papichulo, unfortunate, but you have to save. At this point, you have to save. There's no point even sticking around for exits.
You can't even, yeah, the problem is you can't even retake Nana at this stage. You're looking at what you have to retake against. All right, there's going to be an AWP, going to be a couple of AKs. I have no utility except for a flash and an HE. Maybe I can do some damage, but Zigma instantly on the reroute. They don't want to be losing this AWP. Ackerman, very pretty confident hunting. Does he look towards T-spawn? Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Is this the part where it's the beginning of the end? 13-6. Surely as Zigma, you don't throw away a lead this big. Surely you don't, but expendables, if you can back them in any scenario, this is probably the time. They've got the individuals that can go absolutely huge in some of these rounds.
Yeah.
The Eagles still definitely the ability to outplay, but Zigma definitely doing the good bulk of the work right now to convert the victory, and more importantly, convert the victory for the ASUS ROG Masters 2021. They'll be crowned the APAC region champions, and that's a good start from reality.
Definitely need something to go in the favor of Expendables. It's kind of felt as though they've been unable to catch a break, right? Especially with the grenades coming in. Well, they do. It is targeted at sandbags where there's no player there for Expendables, so at least they avoid the grenade damage. But now, it's still feeling uncomfortable, right? Zigma, they made the presence clear at this part of the map. And Expendables trying to fight for it as well. Boost up on the logs. Spam through the smoke as well. There is a player up close. That's going to be the CZ of Pro. So if they are a little bit careless, Zigma, they might just run into him with open arms. But this re-smoke is going to shave a bit more time before the teams are able to establish top banana control. So they don't know how many players there are on the other side of this smoke. Right. The thing is, it's a 5-on-4, so you should know that at least it's a player on B. Now they're still intent on going through this genius. Flashed in, good flash. Pro's completely blind. Make that another as well. No, he doesn't clear micro properly. And that will be his demise as an AK gets retrieved. Smoke grenade on the floor as well. Zigma. I keep that own sweet time with this one. 35 seconds left. And as he, if he finds the first kill, it's going to be a little more interesting, especially if he gets the second on to play up in balcony. He drops down to the floor as he. Now we're talking. And Zigma.
This is like, that's what we're talking about. Just a couple of individual kills. Azzy just trying to stay alive right now, trying to buy enough time for the rotation, but he just can't land this little headshot onto Just Cause. The rotation's maybe a bit too slow from the expendables.
Yeah, exactly. Way too slow.
Papachula on the flank, going to be smoked off, but I've got a feeling he's just going to commit straight through it right now. Micro as well, just trying to see if he can find exactly where the site player is. Reality. Keeping tabs on both sides, but he does put out Papachula, trying to aggress through the edge of the smoke. They know where Micro is. He's trying to find the headshot angle. Not going to work out as Just Cause decides to just wrap things up quite nicely. So a bit of excitement coming out from Azzy, but unfortunately for the expendables, no one really there to assist him. He doesn't really pick up the AK. Too scared that there's the T's nearby.
Big question is, where were the rotates, right? 25 seconds left on the clock. You clear banana. It should be a pretty clear indicator. It should be going towards A, but I think Papachula went for the flank all the way through T apartments from T spawn. I think he took a bit too long for detour there, and the timing is everything. As he able to open things up, but sticking around for the duel, collateral down at banana, and as he, well, he's showing us that he's still got a little fight left in him. Expendables. I swear you can't afford to lose. Players, oh dear. Papachulo, though, able to get the trade onto Ackerman. This should be the round for Zigma. Just cause, well, I mean, for him, you probably look to make the round a bit more expensive at this point.
Definitely can if you can win it right now. To be fair, find a couple of nice entries in the smoke. Get rid of the AWP and the rifler.
Call from Expendables though, just playing very, very safely. I think it's Azzy still holding the line with the AWP, or is it Papachulo? Yeah, it's an off angle. Ooh, misses the shot, but I mean, he's got collateral this round, so we can't really fault him for that. Just cause though, now his position's been given up. Flash, a bit of a desperate attempt at that. Attack, and Azzy, confidence just swings. Good support from his teammate as well, and Expendables find themselves onto 7. Well, at the same time though, halfway to even getting themselves level pegging with Zigma. This time, the lead feels slightly different. Right? Although the Expendables are able to take a round back, Zigma still have a bit of cash to buy back in, but this is the economy on its last leg. So if Zigma were to lose this one, then we might begin to start talking about the comeback, right? But at the moment, Expendables, yeah, that's a round from Azzy, but you can't expect to be gifted that every single round. Go for the peak again though. Oh, that's the turret.
Just falls off the angle a little bit more. Some good utility that's coming out from both angles or both sides just to make sure that Nard is not a clean take for either party. You can see Genius pretty well aware of what's going on.
Only up to the top middle will deny the T's from being able to get it out. The bad boiler has been able to, that would be Ackerman. So Rolex getting a bit of information for his teammates. Re-smoke for Archers from the CT, that's a very defensive smoke, right? So now the key for expendables is where they decide to hedge their bets. It's a banana retake coming from Zigma. Seems as though they intend on coming back towards B, maybe even a B split because they've still got 2 players up in the Archers. Oh, still standing his ground to fight as he barely gets away.
Gonna drop the smoke with about 40 seconds left, but the problem is there's no more utility left here on the B site. There's only a single flashbang for Ozzy. You'd rather have another smoke over here, maybe another flashbang. Genius going to be pushing out through that smoke. Doesn't realize though, there is going to be a rifler close by in Micro. And now Micro's going to be clearing everything out, going, hang on a second, there's no one else here. It's actually going to be the A site, but the wraparound is going to be so important from Ackerman. Chula going to hold on for balcony, spots out Ackerman, trying to keep his head down at the stage. It's going to allow Pro to chip in. Now Papachula definitely can start the slaughter fest. Just Cause trying to do his best to bring it back. But there's just too many targets. So little HP among the remainder of the expendables, but they hold on. They bring it to an 8th, and Zigma going to be found wanting once again. Tested a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Now this is where you start having the flashbacks of what happened on Mirage. Zigma just taking the eco, maybe run out of bombers as well. Seems as though they want to go for a B rush perhaps. Yeah, smoke for CT spawn, and then it's just gonna be flashes and just hoping that you get a lucky break. Micro extended, will it be extinguished? If not, it's just gonna be another mid grind from Micro. 3 in the round. And B rush, what could have been, is quickly alleviated from the sudden spend.
Micro, very unlucky not to get the ace as Pro decides to completely blind him out. He tries to throw a flashbang to stop the push. I think I blinded Micro just enough. So only a single M4 lost. I mean, for expendables, not going to be too bad. Uh-oh, we've got a pause. And this one with no timer makes me think this one's a tech one once again.
Maybe, I think some teams don't want to take the full 2-minute timeout, so they just gotta pause and then just unpause, and then there we go. Or maybe just causing a couple of issues on his side. But I think this should be a relatively quick one, right? I think we've been pretty lucky all tournament long that we haven't had too long of a break during the matches themselves. This buy coming in from Zigma, it's can work, definitely can work, but a bit lacking on the front of on the side of utility. Expendables though, they've been playing pretty standard at the moment, right? 3 towards A, 2 towards B, not really contesting for banana. A couple of nades at the start of the round to try and show some bit of presence, maybe a smoke at the half wall as well, a bit of retake here and there. But generally, it hasn't been anything too gimmicky from their side, which is kind of good, right? Because you're finding comfortable ways or consistent ways of being able to win out the rounds. Then again, you need to throw in a trick every now and then to keep your opponents honest. Zigma spending a lot of utility in the early rounds.
You're eventually going to have to back away as well. You can't... I mean... It's good that they're using a lot of utility and they're forcing the expendables to expend their utility as well. Eventually, it's going to get to a time where you're going to be looking at your sight hit and you're going, well, do you have this smoke left? No, not really. You used it earlier. You're going to have a couple of shortcuts or maybe make a couple of risks, just like cigarettes on this push out through the edge of the smoke. Bit of a risky one, almost rewarded for it.
Expendables are very comfortable with just leaving Azzy here all alone, but could this be the downfall? Because, yeah, they're so confident in their AWPer that the rotate's very far away, so Azzy, unless he goes in big here, this can be difficult. Good timing on the smoke. Zigma, they don't know what's on the other side, but I think they have to go for it. Yeah, they don't have a lot of utility left, no time for a second pump, and so on they go. Expendables, they have to play retake, right? Completely locked out of sight, and this is when the CTs just gonna start clearing up middle, realizing that nobody's on the flag. Maybe a couple of lucky shots just to soften a couple of players up. Ooh, almost getting the player down. But what's gonna save Azzy? Bullets as well, able to find out the reality eventually.
Disgusting stuff. I think he actually sees a gun being exchanged out, so he might have a pretty good inkling there's going to be another one over here at New Box. Smoke into Nana. There's going to be the late flank coming around from... Wait, what the heck is one of these CTs doing? He's just gone from Nana all the way around. He's not going to be useful at all in this current round. They line up for Ackerman. What is going on? What is Pro doing?
It's unexplainable. Bro, you've lost it. You've lost it.
That is not a Pro move. I can tell you that right now. He could have come up Nana at that stage. He decides to go for the wraparound all the way from T-spawn. I'm going, what the heck is going on over here? You need to go through T. You need to go through Nana at this stage. You're not on the T side. Oh dear, he's cooked it a little bit. Just a little bit. Another pause coming out. Don't know if it's going to be Just Cause or someone else.
I guess maybe the idea behind Pro's play was that I am not too sure on this one. So maybe he threw a couple of utility towards Banana to simulate some form of Banana presence or some Banana pressure coming in from the retake and wanting to go back with his teammates. But probably that was simply not enough time.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks big brain in terms of the rotation. You can make it work as a T-side player. You're not a T-side player. You're a CT player. You need to get in there to help out the boys that are trying to make the retake. So that entire time, it's like, if you had this pressure from Nana, and actually you could flush out Ackerman, you can actually flush out the Dark player. You can make it costly, but at the end, it's a bit of a weird one. I'll be real. Doesn't make any sense in the context of everything, but look, can't fault Zigma for taking site and winning that round. They did it They did it pretty well. Good utility use, good coverage. They're rewarding themselves not only with map point, not only with series point, but with the ASUS ROG Masters 2021 APAC finals point. That's $10,000 US in the bank accounts. That's a lot of money that you can spend. Even split between 5 people. Goes a long way.
Especially in the current climate of Counter-Strike at the moment. Fast in towards A. This is set plan from Zigma, something that we've rehearsed before, but they decide to abort the plan, it seems. Changing plans just a little bit. Smokes over, flashes as well. It will be the full-on A commitment. So running through the smoke, Derek up close and personal. First one to fall in the round, and this could be all Smoke already wrapping the A side, and the kills just go in the favor of Zigma. Now, it's just micro.
UMP, a couple of low HP members, but he's got to find the right angles. It's going to be so hard to find. He's walking straight into the AWP, and Ackerman's going to clean things up. Rolex, that's appropriate, because that's exactly what Zigma's probably going to go and buy a few of with that victory money. They are going to be your ASUS ROG Masters APAC 2021 champions, and a well-deserved victory as well. Could have closed it out 2-0. I'll be real with you, Gobbles. Could have closed out in Raj. It did take into Inferno, but that was much more convincing towards the end.
Yeah, way more convincing, right? Not allowing your opponents to settle in, right? You can see on Mirage, they made a mistake of calling too many default rounds when you're close to match point, right? Yeah, here in Inferno, they managed to correct that, right? They go in with a B set, managing to win out the retake. A bit of a lucky break considering the huge mistake from Pro, but then, up 15-9, they decide, let's just call one of our